SpartanNerd here, and here lately I've been buying some Hasbro because I don't know, they've just captured my attention. I really like the Pythona stuff. I just don't know about joining that premium service, $50 a year, whatever, so you can get those kind of exclusives. But this one caught my eye, okay? And here's why it caught my eye. This is Shooter from GI Joe Night Force. Not for First of all, as a kid, I mostly collected Cobra guys. We didn't have all that many GI Joes, but I was usually the Cobra guys. So why would Shooter here jump out to me? Well, let's get to that. Talking about this comic book. So this is from the Energon Universe, which I've been reading all of, and that's three different titles: Void Rivals, which is like the space opera; Transformers, which is the alien story; and then GI Joe is the human story. Um, it's a good story. It's like great. It's similar, I talked to another comics fan, and they were like, it's a little bit like the Ultimate Marvel Universe, except for it's Hasbro remixing their properties, and it's GI Joe versus Transformers with Void Rivals thrown in there to get the space story in there. But anyway, my point is this character, Shooter, this is who's on the front cover here. When I read this, I immediately went to find an action figure of her. So in the story, she's a sniper. She's an Olympic medalist for shooting, and she evidently never misses. There's characters like that, Hawkeye, whoever, right? But in this case, the way the story was presented, um, it just really spoke to me. I mean, she carries around her father's Olympic medal, and it provides weight to help. She says something like, "It helps balance my weight, improve my accuracy," or something like that. And I was just like, "Wow, I can identify with that." Like, I don't know, I just don't know. Uh, a statement like that, I cannot ignore that. I mean, so in the story, she has 3 Olympic medals, and she always hears her dad talking to her. Um, so this is a toy review anyway. So let's get back to that. So she comes in this non-spectacular, non-window box. Now, if you've been following my blog, you know I'm not a fan of that. There's very little artwork. The only artwork is actually here. And this would be her bio card shot. I'm going to say this was $10. I'm pretty sure it's a peg warmer. As we all know, female characters don't sell very much, especially like this ain't CoverGirl or Scarlet or Baroness, so there is no file card bio. I don't like that either. Instead, you get this QR code, which takes you to basically Hasbro's store. The bio here is actually this little row of symbols. It's too small to actually see, much less decode. I did this before with Cobra Commander and Sergeant Slaughter, and okay, it's not as good as a file card. The back shows us a picture of what we get in the box. It's showcasing her tattoo. I guess that's fun. But is this the only thing I got? No. It's at $10. I was like, hey, it's something else. I ordered this off of Walmart, by the way. So I looked around. Got a new German Shepherd in the house. I saw Law and Order. I thought about that, but he was real expensive. And here we have Tunnel Rat, who was a little cheaper. Now, Tunnel Rat is the G.I. Joe movie. He was one of the Sergeant Slaughter's rawhides or whatever, beachheads, rawhides, and yeah, so that's why I know he is. But he's on the same team as Shooter. On the side, we get artwork. I didn't point that out on Shooter. She does have a piece of artwork on the side, but it's practically the same artwork. It's just a little bit bigger. I don't know why they choose these numbers because at first it seemed logical. It doesn't seem to be logical anymore. After spending some time and looking at some toy stores and looking around for Shooter. But once again, Tunnel Rat, non-window box, no bio, same QR code on the side. Let's open these guys up and see what they're actually all about. I'm taking her out of the box. She is in this like shoebox thing. Looks like she's strapped in with, that's probably plastic. And it's at a Foot Locker. Now Sergeant Slaughter came with Foot Locker like this. That's an oversized Foot Locker. Okay. Oh, notable. She's got her gas mask on. Or night vision mask on. Here's what you see when you open up Tunnel Rat in that shoebox thing. Also with a Foot Locker. Exactly like, I mean, obviously a different figure and a different art behind, but it's exactly the same experience of opening up Shooter. So here's Shooter out of the package, and I've already armed her a little bit. You can see she has 2 hair pieces down there. I'll talk about it in a minute. Oh, well, this is a review after all. Now I'm going to slow it down a little bit so she won't fall as fast. But that brings up a point. Some of these shoes, no ties. That's not very military. Now, I don't know. It's GI Joe, I know. Ha ha ha. But those look like fashionable middle school shoes. Yes. Yes. That don't have ties. You just slide them on, and they're a little bit too big looking. All right. So she has a pistol that I have put in her side holster, and there's a knife that goes in this easy access sheath. I guess being a sniper, if she finds somebody that comes on her, she needs to dispose of them quickly and quietly. That'd be a good way to do it. No silencer though. Interesting. And there's, if you look at that tattoo, it is a snake. It's interesting because their enemies are Cobra, but she has a snake. And on the back side, she has a back mount for this sniper rifle. Now the rifle's a little bit rubbery on the end. You can even see a little bit of saggage going on there. Now this is a it is a peg. She has the peg hole in the back, and this is like there's a slot that goes in the trigger, and it goes. It's like a little handle that that you can lean the stock up against. And so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Elephant in the room is the gas mask, right? So I ain't figured out how to take it off yet. Took her head off. It looks like it's going to take some force. It's kind of a shame that they put that on there. I mean, this is, I guess, night vision or whatever. It's a shame they put that on there like this. I mean, she's got a pretty face if she comes out like her artwork does. So I'm going to work on that off camera. There wasn't much drama to it. She doesn't have just a bald head. There's like all kind of slots up there so that the hair will stay on. So if anybody wanted her to have a bald head, sorry. You have to find a different way. All right, so that's what her hair looks like. And she has another hairdo, which is the same as her hairdo with the mask on, just without the mask. So if you preferred that, it's like braids on the top. So this is also my first female GI Joe classified. And does she stack up to the Master Universe females? I mean, it's a different property. She's not showing as much skin, blah, blah, blah. She's not a barbarian, right? But somehow, she looks tough. I guess I'll say that. She looks tough. Yep. I encourage my viewers, listeners, readers, y'all should read the Energon Universe. It's great stuff. Oh yeah, I have a letter published in Transformers number 10. So here's Tunnel Rat out of his package and fully armed up, because he just don't look right if he ain't wearing all this stuff. And so what is the stuff I'm talking about? This is a backpack. Those things are flashlights on the top, and those are separate pieces that came in his foot locker. But I was like, what is this? What is this? And I looked at the picture, the illustration, and I realized, oh yeah, he always has those on. Since he's a character that crawls through tunnels, Tunnel Rat. He also has a dagger, which is probably more of a machete, I guess. And a pistol right there on the front pocket. I have a police officer friend, and that guy says this is the way to carry your pistols if you want to have access to it if you get injured or whatever. This gun is not a sniper rifle. It is, so he's got, it's called a bandolier. Lots of ammo, lots of bullets. He didn't come with a box that had this bandolier, had this ammo in it, but he did come with a little clip for his magazine. This gun looks good, but them stabilizers on the front do not look good. We have better stabilizers than this, and I will show that when I do other review, when I put it in comparison to other GI Joe classifieds I have. Also, I guess notable, he's got a pocketbook. What? In the military, this would not be a pocketbook, but we're going to make fun of it and say it's a Merce. It really does look a lot like what Evil Lynn has from the Revelation Master Universe show. Oh yeah, and he has one more piece. I just chose not to put it on there for this. This is a night vision goggles that he can wear, and has flashlights and stuff. Because tunnels is this thing, you know, if you remember watching the GI Joe movie, there's a scene where Beachhead is training Tunnel Rat and Big Lob and a couple other guys, and they have to go across this like football field course with stuff blowing up and all this, which is actually a real thing. My son's in the Army, and I just watched some training videos from Fort Drum and the stuff they do. It's a real, kind of a real thing they were showing on the movie. But Tunnel Rat sees a open sewer tunnel and decides to take that as a detour and come out and ring the bell at the end of it. So basically he cheated. And Big Lob made it across too by being very athletic, and the other two guys just didn't make it. This is the iconic scene that follows, is Beachhead cussing at Jinx. Anyways, fun times, fun times. I've seen that movie so many times. Something about the figure, he does not have the iconic face paint that Tunnel Rat is known for. Turns out that he is modeled on, I didn't know this, Larry Hama. So that's another interesting piece of something I found on Wikipedia about Tunnel Rat. He's also Trinidadian Chinese descent with a Boston accent. So there you go. Eclectic, multi-ethnic character. Here's Tunnel Rat attacking Cobra Commander. This Cobra Commander is from one of the first GI Joe classified sets. I didn't jump on GI Joe classified when they first came out. But I've come to really like it. I like it a lot better than the Super 7 GI Joe figures. I can say that, and they're cheaper and more detailed and everything. So a little bit smaller scale, but anyway, that knife, that is a combat dagger, not a machete. I misspoke earlier. I mentioned that my son was in the Army. This was his GI Joe classified that he picked up last year. They weren't on his radar either. But he's very impressed with them. And anyway, I'm showing this is a GI Joe classified legacy infantry guy, and he came with the same night vision goggles. My son did some heavy modding and redecoing, made them dirtier and even more realistic. He's really good at doing that. I'll just say that. But you can see the comparison of the night vision goggles, which are the same design. I do wish all GI Joe classifieds came with a stand. So here I'm showing the difference between Naugahyde's tripod and Tunnel Rat's tripod. See, that tripod that came with Tunnel Rat is far inferior. They could have done a better job. Naugahyde came with a whole case and everything for his sniper rifle. I realize Tunnel Rats is not a sniper rifle, but it's more of a heavy machine gun. Still, they could have done a better job with that tripod. I realize it's supposed to be heavier duty than a sniper rifle tripod, but it doesn't need to look like a piece of the trash plastic off of a model kit sprue. That's what it looks like they stuck on the end of that. So that's a big boo from the SpartanNerd. And I wanted to show off my favorite G.I. Joe classified so far has been Naugahyde. Now Shooter has moved up my list. I mean, but you can see a difference in the value. I mean, that's what I'm pointing out here. Naugahyde was in the 35, 40-ish range, while I only paid $10 for Shooter. But her packaging was that subpar windowless packaging, so that's something. And then she didn't come with as much stuff, but she also, that gun does not have as much paint on it as it should have, and you can see that very well on Naugahyde's sniper rifle versus her sniper rifle. Also, the end of her gun is sagging down as the rubber is getting old, I guess. Time for a little bit of fun. So girls just want to have fun after all, and if you compare her in size and scale, she appears to be the middle schooler to a couple of adults that are supervising her to go somewhere, especially with those shoes on. What you think? So what kind of trouble might Shooter be about to get into? So here they are at the disco having fun. Ha 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 ha. Turns out the disco was just a cover story. They were actually going to go and take somebody out. So my rating of Shooter is actually, I mean, as much as I like the character, this figure doesn't have enough paint on the accessories. And there's no reason for it not to have paint on the accessories. So that's one thing. I don't like that the packaging is not window packaging, but should that take away from the figure? Not really. At the time they were doing this, they were focusing on reducing the amount of plastic. Ultimately, they reduced the amount of sales that they made. So that's the ironic thing, I guess. So now they absolutely show off all their products inside the box. So that's good. But Shooter was a victim of that. Anyways, uh, yeah, so my rating, I mean, the sculpt is good. The paint is not good in some cases. The figures paint is okay, but I think the weapons needed more paint, more detail, and there's a few other things. I mean, why not give us the same sniper rifle that Naugahyde came with? If her jam is sniper rifle, yeah, he's a poacher and he's doing different things with his sniper rifle, but she's doing heroic things with hers. Shouldn't she get as much attention and stuff like that? It ain't like they couldn't have done it. because they could have that, but they didn't. I don't like that the this rubbery plastic that's also already bending. I don't know how long it's been sitting in Walmart's warehouse. It may have been for a while, but it shouldn't be saggy like that. But also, some of my son's legacy Joes have some of that problem too. So, you know, I think the best thing would have been to give us a case. I have to knock a point off at least for that. The articulation is good. There's no stupid problems. It's not hard to change the face mask, the hair, and all that. And I'm glad that we have those options. I especially like that braided hair on the top. Um, so Shooter, she's going to get a 4 out of 5. Now, Tunnel Rat, um, is in a better situation than Shooter here. He was more expensive, but it's the same kind of packaging. I have a feeling he's not as much of a peg warmer as she is. She's a female figure, also not a big name character. Tunnel Rat is more nostalgic and stuff to people who especially like the GI Joe movie, which would be me. But he came with a lot of stuff, and he stacks up to other GI Joe classified and his amount of stuff. I do wish he had a box for the the shells or whatever. They It's like the bandolier is supposed to feed into the gun from that box. Is my understanding, and that did not. It didn't come with that, and that should have been so if they were looking for accurate weapons, which it looks like they kind of halfway do, and they kind of halfway don't. I don't know. Uh, but he came with pretty good paint and everything. I do wish the figure had the nostalgic, iconic face paint on it, but it doesn't have to have that to be good. Um, you know, this one hit different memories differently because the association with the GI Joe movie, and he came out really good. And I definitely see Shooter uh, and Tunnel Rat on the same team very well. I do not like that tripod on the end of that gun. I think that's dumb. But is that enough to mark off a whole point? I don't think so. So I'm going to give Tunnel Rat a 5 of 5. So Shooter gets 4 out of 5. Lots of positives. Great new character for me. Tunnel Rat, 5 out of 5. Do you agree? You disagree? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.